Hey, Penny Shark Academy. Hope you all are well. Just wanted to make another recording here of the weekly analysis. Today is Sunday, February 22nd. We're going to dig right into the charts here and see what this week is shaping up to be. So we'll start here with the futures market, which is currently open. This is the S&P 500. Kind of opened up some of our indicators here just to kind of see some of the ways that we're evaluating. As you can see, again, we've been in a strong uptrend. This is the weekly chart. Last week when we analyzed this, we expected some selling just based off of this consolidation. And this, just so it's very clear, these are painted. These weekly bars are painted based on volume, and obviously green means that there's strong buying. Red means there's stronger selling, and then white is there's a balance of selling and buyers. So no one's really in control there. So the last couple of weeks we've had a couple of red bars here just to show sellers are stepping in. Not super strong, it's not high volume, but just a early indication based on the volume here as well that we're sitting at this consolidation, that we are still expecting some potential selling here at these levels. So there's been some pops this week based on news. The tariff news came out that caused a bit of a volume to hit the market. A lot of buying went into that news, but again, it was just buying up here to these. This is the 9 SMA, and once it hit that, we continued down, and it looks like we have a little bit of continuation. So same with the Nasdaq. We're kind of still consolidating. We've been kind of continuing in this consolidation, but it is slowly moving its way, just curling back down to the downside. Not sure if we're going to find some support and buy back up to go ahead and retest those highs. But as of right now, the bias, in my opinion, based on this and just some of the tape on the options market, it is definitely pointing to a little bit more selling and most likely hitting some different support areas, probably down here in this area where you have this volume. So probably another 900 points is possible before we see if buyers step back in. But that's where my bias is anyway on this analysis. This is the Qs, just the NASDAQ. Once again, not the futures. This is kind of where we closed, 608. So that put us at about 580 is the target here for downside if you are looking for sellers to step in and control a little bit more of this. But TBD on whether or not that happens. Same with the SPY. If you are looking for a downside on the SPY, which again, we're still very much in consolidation, and the trend is up. But if we're going to get a deeper pullback, which is really all it would be, you're looking at somewhere around this 665. This is where this volume profile is, possibly dipping into 660 before we see the move back up potentially. So we'll see if there's any news or catalyst to get us there. Otherwise, it's going up to the next ATR level, which would probably put us first at 700 and 720 would be next. But NVIDIA earnings are this week, so that's really going to be, I believe, the catalyst to help us determine what's going to happen next. So we'll see. Bitcoin, as we mentioned last week, it came hard off of that 60,000 level. Buyers stepped in strong there. And then we're looking like we're trying to go and retest that because we just consolidated a little bit off of that. So we'll see what happens. Still watching. Gold is looking like it's ready to make another move. As you can see here, we had a big sell-off. You guys all remember that Monday the 26th week. I think it was that Friday of that week. And then we had a little bit more selling and then consolidation. And here we are. We had a little bit of buying here. We had some green volume, which means buyers kind of step back in on this past week, and we may have a continuation up from here. Futures market is showing us that might be the case. We're back above the 9 simple moving average, which is a pretty good moving average to track to see what is going to happen next. So if we can stay above this, we do have the potential to see a nice run in gold and silver again over the next week or two as it continues up. So it might be something to consider if you want to play that. If you want to look at SLV, GLD, those are the ETFs. You can either buy them or buy options against them to get exposure there if you're not in the futures market. Definitely something to consider just based on this weekly chart setup, because we're very much still in an uptrend. This was all just expected pullback, but it did pull back here below the 20 EMA. 64,000 is what it hit on the silver, and we're back up to 87. So pretty nice bounce here from silver, and then same thing with gold, 4,400, now back to 5,100. So last week's plays. Let's take a look at this. We had called Costco as a play of the week, and it did exactly what we really expected it to do. After some nice buying up, we hit the first ATR level here, which is what these represent, and then we pulled back here this past week. So the good news here is we had a 967 low the week prior, came down and hit 977, so we did not break the last week's low. So the uptrend continues regardless of the pullback, as well as just the structure overall is still very bullish going into this week. If we can hold 977.81 and above as earnings approaches, I do expect that we could get a nice little run up. We have 11 days until the next earnings report, so multiple things could happen. We could pull back a little deeper, but there was some nice volume here at this 980 range, and I called that out to our Academy members. So I said, hey, if it hits 980, that's a great area for us to potentially buy in at if you haven't gotten in. That was just an ATR level down on the weekly chart. So I expect us to, at the very least, a retest of 1020, and then ultimately 1050-ish was our target here, just based on the overall structure of this. So watching this, the other thing we also saw was a big drop in volume. Now, last week on Monday, we did have a holiday, so there's an overall drop in volume for that week anyway. But on this pullback, we do have much smaller volume on the pullback, which is what you want to see. Strong volume on the buying, very low volume on the selling, and our bar is very much green, which means there's still bias to the buyer side. So still looking great there. Home Depot, we did break last week's low after we had a bit of an uptrend. At least from our indicator, it really liked this breakout here, and I think I like this too, just based off of the volume that we've seen on the push up, and then this nice little pullback to this volume, still stayed above our moving averages, just visited another ATR level, and very much possible over the next 2 days with earnings to see a nice push up. The alternative is a nice push down into this 357 range, potentially, or even 350 to come down and create some more momentum back to the upside. I'm still very bullish on Home Depot for upside, regardless of what the earnings outcome looks like, but we shall see. We'll keep watching that and see if we can get up to our 407, 410 range that we were targeting before. Same with the Texas Instruments play. Nice drop in volume again on this pullback after some really good buying up. This is just a little bit of consolidation coming in here. Here at this level, a little bit of volume increasing around this 220 level, but ultimately we're looking for a nice push up to 235 up to 245. That would be ideal for this play. So we bought in on this pullback right around this 218 level is where we got in. So we're going to be watching. We might continue down to the next ATR level, which is 210, which would be another area to potentially get in here. But feeling confident that we could see some more upside there as well. And then, of course, Broadcom has earnings in 10 days. You can see the sellers are very much still there's bias here to the sell side. The structure here is such that we are very much consolidating, kind of a flag here, bull flag still. So I wouldn't count on a huge drop necessarily in this name, just based on the fact that we're very much in an uptrend and it's just consolidating and creating a flag, which could then bounce up and give you a continuation move to the upside. Whether or not that's at earnings, we will see, but we were definitely targeting a little bit deeper pullback here on this one, but buyers continue to kind of hold steady here around 316. So we could see a 305 touch, see if we can close some more of this fair value gap that we have here, but still watching that one. Now, some of our new watchers, just based on potential breakouts, potential volume that we're seeing, buyers stepping in here. This is Moderna. This one looks pretty decent actually. You had a nice move up here on this move to 55. You had a deep pull back down to 39. And now you can kind of see here this last week, 18% move in a single week. Usually when you see this, you have a nice continuation the next week, potentially. We still have to break through there, but I'm watching this one. Not calling it necessarily a home run, but I'm definitely watching this one for upside as we, after 3 straight weeks of kind of neutral volume, we did have a nice buy or volume signal to the upside, and we're already in an uptrend. So we'll see. The next ATR level is 57. Then, of course, 62-ish. So could see a nice $5 to $10 move. Unless it wants to consolidate there for a couple weeks. But SMCI, I've been watching this one. It's very much been in a downtrend here on the weekly. We're under the 200, but we found some pretty decent support after earnings here. We had a nice big volume bar where buyers stepped in strong. Consolidation after that, which is to be expected to some degree, but this volume here is stepping in strong at this 30, 32, anywhere in that range. So it's been ranging. I believe this looks like accumulation based on the volume here that we're seeing. So we'll see what happens over the next few weeks, but if this really wants to break out, you have some real potential here to make some pretty good upside on this name. So I'm definitely watching that one closely. You have First Solar as well. First Solar is very much in an uptrend, and now it's pulled back. It has earnings in 2 days, but we got as high as 285 before this deep pullback back to 214. And now, I think in preparation for earnings, we've had a nice little bit of volume come in here as traders are positioning themselves for the earnings report, expecting upside most likely. In-phase energy in the same solar industry actually had a really nice pop after their earnings, so I wouldn't be surprised if this one did the same. We're gonna try to probably visit $300 per share if that happens, but obviously very cautiously optimistic there. And then Venture Global, this one I've been tracking. It looks really good from just an overall setup perspective and kind of a value play. This was June of last year, $20, nearly $20 a share. We've had a nice little sell off as low as $5, and now we're starting to kind of break back up to the upside as well, and we're in this huge accumulation potentially accumulation zone here where a lot of sideways action is taking place. So we haven't really broken out per se, but if the volume is telling us anything, it is saying that this has huge potential for a breakout here soon. So I'm watching this one closely as well. And then a last few here, you have ARM Holdings. This is another name that was in a pretty strong move over 2025. Got as high as 183, and then we had big selling. I believe there was some news, of course, that correlated with some of this around the business. But here, the last earnings report, we had a nice big jump in volume. You can see all the way back to all of 2025. That's one of the biggest jumps in volume we've seen here from this name outside of this sell bar here in January last year. So here we are, February, almost a year later, and you have a big jump in volume to the upside. And you see when that volume happened here, we moved all the way down off of that volume that came in January before it recovered. So I expect that there's a big potential based on this volume bar before the earnings, and then this one after earnings. And then the last couple of weeks we've had more buying signs here and above our non-SMA. This could be a nice big pop, and if we were to talk about a short-term move, at least to this area here, this volume is where this price would most likely be willing to go, wanting to go around 140. But again, we're technically in a downtrend, so that would be the area of resistance. If you just draw a line here, that's probably where price would end up, is coming up here, either 140, 150, before seeing what it wants to do next. And then you have Bloom Energy. This has been a name that has been running for quite a bit of time. You can see we started in May of last year, $20, April, May, $15, $20, and this thing has just taken off like a rocket. But you can see here recently, after the last earnings report, just seems like a big profit take, just based on what I can tell. 176, we broke into all-time highs here after this nice pullback initially, and it didn't take long before buyers stepped right back in. After this, and you can see the selling happened here, and it took several weeks before we really saw any signs of green volume return, which would just indicate buying bias for the week. But here you only had a couple of weeks where you had a little bit of sell off, a little consolidation down to 130, and then boom, here we are this week. Buyers stepped in strong again. So we'll see if that leads to some more. It was a low volume week, so it's definitely some caution behind this one. But you could see a continuation here off of that return of buying at this level. So I'm watching this one. 160 was the area of resistance the last 2 weeks. Hasn't been able to get above that really. So we'll see if we can break above 160 as a next step. And then lastly, I've been watching Vistra Corp. It's Definitely approaching earnings time, 4 days away for this one. Um, Vistra is has been in a very, very strong uptrend over the 2025 period, as well as even well before that. You can see all the way back to 24. It's just, obviously the way stocks move, there's been deep pullbacks here. This was your tariff slash deep seek pullback here from $200 all the way down to 92. Great buying opportunity there. Went right back up. Didn't take very long to return to those all-time highs. Consolidated and pulled back some more. But again, if you just draw a trend line here, it's just a perfect pullback. I mean, that's doesn't get any more textbook than that. And price came down, boom, touched that trend line, 138 from 92. Now new higher low, or yes, a higher low of 138. It looks like, and then boom, price just bounced right off of that. So if you can get a decent entry here, I don't know if we'll see a pullback or not, but if you can get an entry, around 160 ish, that would be ideal. Maybe 155, 160 if it can pull back one more time into this area. I think you could see a nice run up to potentially break these all-time highs if price wants to continue up to 230. So that would be the next target if I were to say, with the good earnings, we are going to continue. And power is definitely going to be essential with all the data centers, AI data centers that are going up around the country. This is definitely an area that Vistra shines in, and that's fundamentally a great play just from a company you like to be a part of with some of the demand that they have for their industry. So that's our plays that we're looking at. We haven't really changed as far as last week's plays of the week. I would say these are good watchers for this week. Moderna, SMCI, First Solar, Venture Global, ARM Holdings, Bloom Energy, and Vistra. All of these are really good setups and showing some good signs for upside potential, as well as gold and silver. So I think overall we have still high potential for a little bit of selling before the Nvidia earnings. I believe on the 26th, but certainly something that we can keep in mind. As a catalyst for some of these plays to the upside. So hopefully that helps you, Penny Shark. Hopefully it's another great week for everyone in the markets. If you want to, and if you're watching this and you'd like to be a part of Penny Shark Academy, you can visit our website, click on Enroll Now. It'll take you to some of our options for joining. We'd love to have you be a part of our trading community. And if you're watching this and you are on YouTube, feel free to hit that subscribe button and you will get more updates just like this one. So looking forward to the next one. Hope you guys have a great trading week, and we'll talk soon.